Okay, we've just finished writing the mangle function, and now we're going to work at a new function called count_e. Okay, so if I look at the directions, this is question number 3. I'm going to write a function, count_e, that takes a list of strings as a parameter and returns the total number of upper and lowercase e's. And again, we're going to test our function works. So I've got my function name that's given to me by the question, and I'm going to have some list of strings as a parameter, and I'm going to return the total number of lower and uppercase e's. So return num_e, which I should initialize, and the number of e's is going to be a numeric value, so I'm just going to initialize it to be 0. This way we can set up our test cases down here and make sure that everything is working properly. Okay, so this was my working function call. This is what helped me figure out my test cases. And so I'm going to actually move this to the bottom of my main here. And that way I can put my other test cases right above it. Okay, so I'm going to change this. Instead of calling mangle, I'm going to call count_e, and I'm going to copy this example over here. So this is going to take a list, so I use the square braces to indicate a list, and I'm going to have it do hi, hello, and eek. Okay, and then eventually what I would like to say is that the call below equals the output of 3. But right now I want to actually print what I am getting as I work with it. And so I'm going to switch this over. I guess I could copy and paste it actually, because it won't change. Although remember, copying and pasting isn't very dry. So our goal is to write code that doesn't repeat itself. But okay, if I wanted to make this dry, I could store this result in a variable and use that instead. Okay, and so let me print out count_e. So I'm doing the same thing I did before, where I had, print mangle, I'm printing count_e, and what I expect to see. So I'm hoping that that will be true. Right now it shouldn't be. Let's run it and check that for sure. Good, so I get 0, just as I've set up, and I get count_e is false. Awesome. So we have our test cases in place. We have a function stub that doesn't do anything yet in place, and so now we can focus on getting this correct output. Okay, so it's going to take a list of strings as a parameter, and then return the total number of upper and lowercase e's in all of the strings in the list. So what I see here, I see total number. That to me says sum, right? Or that this let me put it here. This variable, num_e, is going to be an aggregator or accumulator. So sum aggregates values. Oops, and let me spell that correctly. How about that? Good. Okay, so sum is going to aggregate our values. And what we're doing is we're counting the number of upper and lowercase e's. So to me, that's going to be case insensitive, which is lower equals upper. If I have something that's case sensitive, then I would count the lower and the uppers. I might handle them differently. In all the strings in the list, so to me, all strings is going to equal a loop. I want to do something to everything. So for each string in the list, I'm going to do something. I'm going to update num_e. Don't know what I'm going to update it with. Let's say string.upper. We do something to string.upper. Let's see. Is there something like count? Why, yes, there is. Does count work? I don't know what count does. Let's try it. So string.upper.count e. I'm not exactly sure what this count function does, though, so I'm not sure if it's going to work correctly. Let's give it a shot. Let's try it. Oh, well, I guess count works. I wonder if I can just give any more information about it. No, I think I probably have to go on a web page to see what the count function does. So Python count. Returns the number of times the value appears. So, but we want, this is the list version, we want string count. Here we go. This is the count we're using. Let's just verify that it's doing what we want, so that way when we see another example, we know it'll also work and it's not just by accident working for this particular example. So you can use the IDE in PyCharm to help explore, but ideally you want to make sure that the functions you choose, you understand them well enough to know that they will work in all the situations, not just the particular situation that you're testing it with. So if we look at count method searches a substring, given string, returns how many times the substring is present in it. So this is doing exactly what we want it to. And if we wanted to, we could also have start and end parameters, which we are not interested in. Okay. Awesome. So what we can see is that we actually stumbled upon the function that really helps us simplify this approach. Okay, great.